Hey boys and girls, thanks again for checking out my channel. Today we're talking about my collection, my KTM little silicone dilemma, and how I test my cars for which ones are the fastest without actually doing any time trials. This and more on today's episode. Actually, there's not that much more. It's just that's what it is on today's episode. That's it. Let's get into it. All right, let's go over these cars real quick. I know most of you have already seen them, but for those of you who haven't, let me do a quick introduction. This is my Lamborghini Hurricane in the nice teal, light green, however you want to call it, number 7 livery. It's super beautiful. It's my wife's car. She loves that color. She likes to race with it. She wins sometimes with it, and it's super fast. It's my second fastest car on the track to date. Next to it is the Aston Martin in yellow. This is the only car I've actually had to modify by adding a magnet in the front for some weight, because it was just way too light. It kept on popping out of my switch tracks for some reason. I don't know why. It's on the slower end of most of the cars. Kind of it fits in there with the Ferrari, which is very disappointing, but still very fun to drive, very light, still flies across the track. Right behind it is what I call my Apollo, is another Lamborghini Huracan. Beautiful colors. I love this thing. I think it looks like an astronaut. It's got the USA on there, the flag. I don't know, with the exception of the green. I don't know, the first time I saw this car, I'm like, this looks like an Apollo mission car, and I had to have it in the white. It was very, very gorgeous. I very much like. So yeah, that's my white Huracan. Next to it is the first car I got before I even got a track. Once I saw this car, I was like, what is going on? I had to get this Ferrari. It's so beautiful in the Italian color flag. It's just, she's gorgeous. She's had, as you can see, a lot of battle damage already. I told myself, only when I get really good will I take this car out on the track. Yeah, right. Not gonna happen. It didn't happen. The only thing I regret about this car is not buying both of them on the shelf when I had the chance. There was 2. I said, do I buy 2? Do I buy 1? And yeah, I just bought 1. I regret it. I should have bought the second one. But yeah, not my fastest car. We got to get this car up to speed, but it is not my fastest car, which is disappointing. But we're gonna get it there. We're gonna get it there. Back here is my wife's car in the pink Audi R8. This is her favorite car in real life and on the track. When she saw she had to have it, I actually ordered this from Europe because there was none available to us. This thing, I had to super glue the back end here. This little piece comes off. We've battle damaged these cars so much in the beginning. This was the second car we bought after the obvious starter kit. And there's even a crack. Where is it? Can you see it? Yeah, right here. I had to super glue this because this fell off the table a few times. Just because, you know, we're learning at that point. And even the Ferrari in the front, I had to little super glue that line and whatnot. So yeah, that's it. So this is my wife's car. She loves it. It is the fastest car on the track, only not by much compared to my Mercedes. Surprisingly enough, this Mercedes that came with the victory set, the lap to victory set, the most battle damaged car. My daughter loves this car. As you can see, it's pretty banged up in the front. The headlights dented in there. I've got to fix that eventually. I've actually stopped doing maintenance on this car just because of how fast it is. When new people come to the track, I tell them to take this car just to give them that extra advantage, and they're not losing by much. I mean, you know, when you're starting off, we're doing races. I mean, most of the time I try to let people win just so they enjoy the track a bit more. I don't go 100% on them. But my daughter has figured out that this is the fastest car, so she takes it every time, and she pretty much wins every time we race with her. So we got to try to figure something out and figure out why this Mercedes is the fastest car on my track to date. But in comparison with the Beamer, it's not actually the fastest, but it just handles so much better in the corners that it always makes it the fastest. We'll get into that a little bit later. Next is the Audi R8 that I bought so I compete with my wife when she races the Audi R8, because it was destroying my Ferrari. So this is the same thing, just in the Manfilter livery, and it's just beautiful in the colors. I love it with the forest. Just great car. I had to get this Beamer for no particular reason, just because the M4s. I'm loving the M4s. I'm loving the new look. I know a lot of people are not crazy about it, but this is what got me onto BMW. When I saw these liveries in real life, I was just like blown away. I'm like, wow, Beamer actually looks really sexy. And yeah, so I had to buy this one. It's the most colorful car, minus the shell one there, the red and yellow. That one's really nice too. But when I saw this one, I had to have it, so I picked it up. This is in my mid-class. This is in the same range as the Aston Martin and Ferrari. It's in the lower end of the speedsters, so we're gonna try to get that up to speed as well, pun intended. Then now, the last two cars here are my Porsche 911s. These still have the factory tires on them. I just got the quick slicks to change them out, so they're going to be racing soon. I am waiting for the Slot Invasion guides. They're in the mail, should be here, arriving any day now. All my cars for 2024 need a good tune-up, so I'll be doing a video on how I set up my cars with the Porsches. So this is one of them, super sexy, silver and black. I love it. The other one is, is the Green Monster that everyone, the community has dubbed. That's not me calling it that. I've yet to see some time trials with this and to see where they will place. I'm going to be doing a whole series on that just to see what's up and actually get you guys some racing videos, which I haven't done yet. But they're coming. Give me a chance. And this car just looks, oh my god, it's so mean. It's so sexy. Anyways, yeah, that's it. That's that one. Now, the last car that came with the lap to victory, is my KTM Expo. This car has been giving me plenty of problems. One, I could not find silicone tires for this car when I first picked it up 6 months ago. Quick Slicks did not have a tire for it. I ended up commenting on a post on Hugh's Garage, Slot Car Adventures. If you haven't checked him out, please do. And he mentioned that he uses the Lamborghini tires. And those tires, the CB58XF, XF for extra firm, so the CB58s. And I was using these for the Lambo Hurricanes and Huracans, and they worked really well for the KTM. So I was going to do a video on, hey, this is the tire to use, and this is the tire that I've been testing out that works really well. And I said, you know what, let me check on Quick Slicks just to make sure that I'm still, up to date, that they do not have a tire. And lo and behold, they're recommending this tire, the CA02XF. And to my surprise, that's the same tire I'm using on my BMW M4. And I find that tire's a little thick, in my opinion. A little thicker than I would like on this car. Now, I don't doubt for a second that they tested the car, they know it works. Those guys know what they're doing. They're not going to steer you wrong for any reason. And that's about it. But because I've been using the Lambo tire, I call them the Lambo tires just because I took them off my Lambo, but because I've been using the CB58s, I want to actually do some time trials and some tests to see if there actually is a difference or if the car actually performs any different using both tires. So I ended up ordering a set of both. But let's test out this car and see what we can do and what we can get, what kind of times we can get with these tires to see if there's actually a difference in them. I just want to show you guys something. This is what's making me a little nervous, is that the tire itself, I'll just put down this controller, the tire itself kind of almost wants to rub, and it could have done a better job. These tires did go on a lot easier than the other ones, and the CB8s, but they're kind of filling the well. Vibrations and stuff. I'm worried that this section here and here is gonna touch. So let's see if the recommended tires from Quick Slicks can get us some better times. Let's start this challenge.
3, 2, 1, go!
Fastest lap by Ford.
Okay, let's get the other tires on her and see what we can do. We did a good 4.269 with this. That's not horrible on this track, but it's not the best either.
Three, 2, 1, go!
Two rolls through the new fastest lap. Two rolls through the new fastest lap. Fastest lap by 3 rolls.
And that'll do it. All right, so the CB58 Extra Firm, okay, did a 4.032 versus the CA02XF did a 4.269. So we're 0.2 faster on the Lamborghini tires. However, again, sorry, I'm calling them Lamborghini tires, but it's the Lamborghini model number that I'm talking about. That's my 2 cents on this, guys. I'm not here to say quick slicks or anything, or anybody made a bad call. I just wanted to share that there are other options for the car, and this is what's working for me. If you have other tires that work for you, let me know. Put them in the comments, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Let's move on to the next section, how I test these cars. Okay, so what I'm doing here, it's not the most scientific process. However, I did note that if you bind 2 cars to one controller, they race, at the same time, and there's nothing else on the track. There's no jumpers on this track or anything like that, so it's using the same current in the same spot. We're going to be testing the Ferrari versus the Carrera, and I noticed something funny. I noticed that you can actually see which car has the faster motor, or which car's gear ratios give it the more advantage. And so what I do is I set it up to one controller, and I play a game. If the Mercedes can touch the Ferrari 3 times, I know that this car wants to go faster. So let's, here, let me show you. We're both going around. See how that caught up like that? That's 1. That Mercedes doesn't leave much of a gap for the Ferrari. Okay? So that Mercedes does not leave much of a gap for the Ferrari. And there we go. That's 1. Now let's flip them. Okay? Let's see what happens when we flip them. Let's go. Oh, note, don't do this with your track running, because you'll get it unless you change the name of the driver, which I didn't do, and I ended up getting the best track lap time, which was like ridiculously 0.0002 seconds. So I have to go in now and erase all that data, but whatever. Anyways, just don't put the same name, or don't have your app running. Just have it to the main screen. Okay, here. Okay, look at that gap now. This Mercedes just wants to go. The Ferrari will not catch up now at this point. The Ferrari won't catch up. I've never seen anybody do this, but I've tested out on different cars, and basically if the car behind manages to touch at any point the car in front, I call it the 3 kiss, if it kisses it 3 times, it means that the car behind is the faster car. Seeing as I already know the lap times of these cars, which I have to kind of redo because they all need an overhaul, they're all due for some tuning, it coincides. I've done this with the Mercedes, I've done this with the Aston Martin, I've done this with all the cars, minus my last 2, which were the BMW and, well, now my 2 Porsches. And I've been doing this with every car, and they have been pretty consistent with the lap times considering. So instead of doing laps with your cars, if you want to see where that engine's at, and which cars actually have a faster engine without having to do lap times, just put 2 cars, pit them head to head, and see, and then test them for yourself. I mean, maybe I'm crazy, maybe it only works on my track, but this is a little game, a little trick that I do, and I mark down my findings, and just to have that extra edge, and figure out and to know which cars I have to spend more time tuning, which I will be doing in 2024. It is a goal of mine. Thanks again for watching this video. This was my collection, my Crossbow Expo silicone issue resolved, and how I test my cars. Alright guys, thank you so much. We will see you in the next one. Have a good one. Ciao.